Welcome in. This is Ricky's Mailbag, where I take your Phillies questions, answer them to the best of my ability. Dylan McKinnon is here with me asking the questions. I want you to like and subscribe over here. Also, you can catch myself, Savannah Kelleher, and Bill Collarula on Unfiltered, 2 to 6, Monday through Friday, 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com, and NBC Sports, Philadelphia. Let's go, Dill.
We start with a nice uplifting question. Tom wants to know, do the Phillies have any hope without Zack Wheeler?
You know what? In light of what's happened in the last couple of days against the Mariners, let's face it, you're losing a number one, but Christopher Sanchez slides right into that spot without a problem. And there have been questions about Ranger and his velocity dropping, and his location's been really bad here in the last, month or so. But it seems as though Ranger kind of figured it out. The one thing that you don't really need from Ranger Suarez is big time velocity. What you need is location on his sinker, location on his changeup on the outside part of the plate to the right-handers. He kind of proved that, and the Mariners are a pretty good hitting team. I think he proved that in that game. So I think you kind of sigh of relief there. The other sigh of relief I'm going to go with is Jesus Luzardo. I mean, this is a guy who's had his ups and downs. And let's face it, there was a good 3-week period there that we were like, oh my goodness, what is this guy going to bring us? What's he bringing to the table? Is he going to be any good this season? But he seems to have kind of found himself too. There is a little gray area here, though. Obviously, Zack Wheeler's a number one. He was almost an automatic win every time he would step on the mound in the playoffs. You would think, all right, very good chance for a W here. And I don't know if you automatically get that with the other guys, but what you do have is at least 3 good quality starters. I think the big question mark going forward is going to be Aaron Nola. We saw Aaron Nola throw a start. He did not look good. He got belted around. He gave up a 6-run lead. So to me, that's a huge question mark as time goes on, and whether he's even going to be on the roster in the playoffs. Is he going to be that guy that Taijuan Walker has been going towards the playoffs? And obviously the other guy is Taijuan Walker, who has had quietly a really good year. So I think the Phillies have enough right now. They definitely have 3 starters that could go in the playoffs. I think the 4th will be a big question mark. Obviously, it's not as strong without Wheeler, but it's still a legitimate starting 3.
Okay. Jason wants to know, outside of the main 3 bats, Turner, Harper, Schwarber, who do you trust the most in this lineup?
Who do I trust the most in the line right now? It's either Brandon Marsh or JT Realmuto. I'm going to go with JT right now. JT's come up with some pretty big hits here as of late. He's kind of shown some power, which we haven't seen in the first 3 months of the season. And it's one of those things where he's coming around at the right time. He's figured things out at the right time. You hear me talk about adjustments that players have to make at the big league level. Sometimes those adjustments are hard to make. I think JT with the big leg kick always throws his timing off a little bit. So I'm going to say right now, I think it's JT Realmuto. I think he's a valuable piece to this lineup, especially because he's hitting in the middle of the lineup. So that's like the needle and the thread that kind of holds the rest of the lineup together. If he's going well, you have a better chance of turning the lineup back over at the bottom. And Brandon Marsh has just been really good, with the exception of that first month and a week of the season. After that, he's been really good, and he's proven to me that he could play at the big league level, and he could do it fairly well. So, I mean, there's a lot of guys going well in the lineup right now, but I like the turnaround that JT Realmuto has had.
This one's from Buster Posey. I don't think it's the Buster Posey.
No? Hey, Buster.
Who is the most underappreciated Phillies player currently on the roster? Is there anyone you think we overrate?
The overrated? Huh. Wow, that's a heck of a question. Most underrated, I'm going to go right now with Brandon Marsh. I still think he's the most overrated player or underrated player on the team. I think people gave up on him rather quickly early on in the season, and I was on that seesaw with him. I wasn't sure if he was ever going to turn it around, but he found a way. And to me, that's very important. When you find your way and you're able to move on and be good for the rest of the season, I don't think there's any complaints there. And I think it's just something that he's proven throughout the time. Um, Overrated players. That may be one of the toughest questions I've heard. Maybe Nick Castellanos. I think because a lot of people still see him in his Reds uniform when he was tearing it up and got signed over here. He may have been a little bit overrated coming here, but I think the fans have seen this year that he's human and he's going to struggle a little bit too. So I guess it could be Castellanos. I mean, maybe even Aaron Nola right now, which I really don't like to say, but he may be struggling just in a year, or it may be because he's getting a little older and there's a lot of mileage on that arm. So I guess those are my answers.
Okay. Jim asked. I'm sorry, Ron. I'm sorry, Ron. Ron asked. I know it is too early to call Duran the Phillies' best closer, but does he have a case to be called the most talented closer to ever pitch for the Phillies?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, a lot of closers throw hard, but this is a guy that number one throws hard. But if you notice the movement, I think that's the one thing he's really got going for him, because we're talking about pitches that are moving a foot, a little bit over a foot, whether it be a cutting or whether it be running away from left-handed hitters. He's got both sides going for him, and a guy that could throw that hard and has a split that has the type of movement that he has. Here's a picture of this. Think about you being a batter against him. You have to make up your mind when it comes out of his hand. So if you're thinking fastball and he throws that split, you're going to screw yourself into a pretzel. And if you're thinking split, that fastball's by you about as quickly as you could imagine. I mean, at 100 miles an hour, that pitch is coming in and it's finishing past you before you're even ready to swing the bat. So I think he's definitely got the stuff to be highly rated. And I think, I mean, in general, he may have he probably has the best repertoire I've ever seen out of a Phillies closer, including myself. Ha ha ha.
Okay, Fred asked, in light of Wheeler's likely absence, is the starting pitching still the strength for this team, or has the lineup or bullpen surpassed it?
I think the bullpen is fairly strong right now, especially considering you've added Alvarado back in there. I know he's not going to be in the playoffs. Robertson has done all right. But I think, with Strom and Kirkering kind of moving backwards and being able to relax a little bit, and Duran being what he is at the back end of the bullpen, I think the bullpen's very strong. Obviously, with Wheeler out of that starting rotation, it takes you a step back. But I still believe, here's what I believe about the lineup, and you can take this whatever way you want it. They are very streaky, there's no doubt about it. But you're talking about a team that had 48 hits in one series. That's 16 hits per game. I mean, just think about that. That's obscene. That's potential that they have. And I obviously believe in the top three in the lineup. I like what JT's been doing lately. But the one thing that has been kind of under under talked about is the bottom of the lineup, and that's one thing that I will always praise when they do well, because the biggest thing, and I have proof of this. You could go look at the box score of the last game of the Mariners series. You look at what the bottom of the order did, and then you look at the RBIs and what the top two in the lineup did, because you flipped the lineup with men on base. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. You flip the lineup and you have Turner and Schwarber up there. Ooh, I mean, that is tough on any team coming in. I believe the lineup is very, very good. I think they're the strongest point on this team right now.
Okay, final question. Jim wants to know who's the Phillies' biggest threat in the NL? How legit are the Brewers?
I think the Brewers are pretty good. Oddly enough, they play as a team. I mean, there's not a lot of guys you're going to go, well, it's all about this guy or all about that thing. They have a strong bullpen, very strong starting rotation. They have a lineup that can put it together. They have a lineup that plays together. And when you do that, I think they're obviously one of the top teams in the league. We've also had some other teams make some moves over the trade deadline, and I think one of them that's going to be a tough one to kind of deal with is going to be the Padres. I think that team, obviously, Machado, Tatis, they have a very good team. Additions in the bullpen, a pretty good starting rotation, I think. So both teams, the Padres and the Brewers, I think, are pretty equal. I'm wondering if the Brewers may have kind of blowing it out there with their big winning streak at the beginning of August, and maybe they'll come back down to earth. But I still think there's going to be it's 3-team, if not a 4-team race in the National League. There you have it. Like and subscribe over here. This is Ricky's Mailbag. Also, you can catch me, Silvana Kelleher, Bill Colarulo on Unfiltered 2 to 6 Monday through Friday, 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com, and NBC Sports Philadelphia.
What's up, everybody? It's Bill Colarulo from Unfiltered with Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel because we post a ton of content. It's not just what you hear on air. We're posting content all day long. We do some things before the show, after the show, even stuff during the show. So subscribe, like, do whatever you got to do. We got all this content coming to you every single day.